Good, happy Sunday morning, January 26th, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this week and this Sunday edition of Politics with Riley King. Let's begin. First up, let's take a look at your 2020 New Hampshire candidate tracker for January 26th, 2020. We have two candidates in New Hampshire today. And here are the two candidates that are in New Hampshire today. Michael Bennet and Tulsi Gabbard are in New Hampshire today. We're going to start with Michael Bennet first. Michael Bennet has 4 events today in New Hampshire. His first event, Every Child Matters Roundtable in Concord, New Hampshire at 10:30 a.m. His second event, Town Hall at Dr. Norman W. Crisp School in Nashua, New Hampshire at 12:30 p.m. Meet and greet in Chester, New Hampshire at 3 p.m. House party in Manchester, New Hampshire at 5 p.m. Tulsi Gabbard, she's in New Hampshire today and has one event today in New Hampshire. Town Hall at Plymouth, New Hampshire at 6:30 p.m. And those are the two candidates in New Hampshire today. New poll shows Biden, Sanders leading in the Democratic 2020 race. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Well, now to the presidential race. Most Democratic candidates bolting from impeachment to Iowa to get in a shortened weekend of campaigning 1 week before the Iowa caucuses. And this morning, we have a brand new ABC News Washington Post poll suggesting Joe Biden remains ahead, Bernie Sanders rising, and Elizabeth Warren dropping significantly from our last poll in November among registered voters. ABC's Rachel Scott is in Des Moines with more. Good morning to you, Rachel.
Eva, good morning. That's right. Former Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Bernie Sanders emerging to the top of the pack. But when it comes to the issue of electability, who voters think has the best chance of beating President Trump, Biden leads by a wide margin. This morning, Joe Biden out front, bolstered by voters who believe he has the best shot of defeating President Trump.
When I look at Donald Trump, what he stands for, how he behaves, what he's done, my response is always the same. We are so much better than Donald Trump. So much better.
The former VP holding a steady lead in our latest ABC News Washington Post poll. Senator Bernie Sanders on the rise, trailing close by.
Senator Sanders, are you excited about getting to Iowa?
The Vermont senator sprinting from the impeachment trial back out to the campaign trail. Sanders is building momentum, particularly here in Iowa, 8 days out from the first vote, making his own electability argument.
If we are successful in getting young people in big ways involved in the political process, getting working people who have given up on the political process to vote, we will not only defeat Trump, we will defeat Trump badly.
The rest of the pack further behind. Senator Elizabeth Warren dropping 10 points in our poll, but picking up an endorsement from the Des Moines Register, dancing with excitement as she learned the news.
I just heard and I'm delighted. It really means a lot to me.
But the 4 senators in the race will be pulled back to Washington tomorrow for the impeachment trial.
I would be here every day if I could.
Their rivals capitalizing on their absence during the final stretch ahead of the Iowa caucuses.
We've defied a lot of expectations to come to this point, and I think it's part of what will carry us to success on Caucus Day.
And this race is fluid. There is still room for movement. 53% of Democratic-leaning voters polled say they would consider supporting a different candidate. Dan?
Rachel Scott right there in Iowa. Thank you, Rachel. So much to talk about, so let's...
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Campaigning in Salem, Biden says there will be no time for on-the-job training for the next president. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Jessica Moran.
This is our moment. This is our one shot to defeat Donald Trump. I'm asking you to join me to help turn the page on our politics. That is why I am running for president.
Just 17 days left. And I know you're probably saying, thank God, only 17 days left.
Joe Biden counting down to the New Hampshire primary. The Democratic presidential candidate making a stop at an elementary school in Salem, where he says the next president will inherit a divided country.
I'll respectfully suggest there's going to be no time for on-the-job training. It's going to have to be immediately know what he or she is going to do.
Biden's remarks included a reference to today's impeachment trial.
My guess, if you go back and turn your TV on today, you're going to find the name Biden mentioned many, many, many times. I wonder why he doesn't want to run against me. What do you think? I wonder why.
The crowd also responded well when Biden referenced the plans of the current Democratic field and started listing his own accomplishments.
Passing the Brady bill for background checks that no one thought could get done. Writing the Violence Against Women Act, which no one thought could get done. Making sure that we've eliminated assault weapons and no one thought could get done. Limiting the number of high-capacity magazines no one said could get done.
Some of the biggest cheers came when Biden spoke about taking on the NRA.
I'm the only guy nationally that's beaten the NRA twice, and I will beat them again as President of the United States of America. I promise you. I promise you.
Next up, Biden turns his attention to Iowa, where he has a list of scheduled events. In Salem, Jessica Moran, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Weld says Trump committed impeachable offenses. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
This is our moment. This is our one shot to defeat Donald Trump. I'm asking you to join me to help turn the page on our politics. That is why I am running for president.
Republican presidential candidate Bill Weld talked with voters today at Marianne's Diner and Dairy. The former Massachusetts governor hopes to be an alternative for Republicans and moderates who don't want President Trump reelected. Weld says he's watching the impeachment trial and does believe the president committed impeachable offenses.
I think on the facts and the Constitution, he should be removed. And if he is, some people would be very resistant and think they have been robbed. But the country as a whole, I think that's the only way we can heave a sigh of relief and get on with our business instead of being just exhausted by the antics of this guy in the White House.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Dupree ousted as New Hampshire Republican National Committee after 4 terms, resigned immediately. Hillsborough County GOP Chair Chris Agger elected to host key to keeping New Hampshire primary first. Biden discusses impeachment in interview on WMUR's Close-Up, which airs today at 10 o'clock a.m. Let's take a look at that video from WMUR News 9, Adam Sexton.
This is our moment. This is our one shot to defeat Donald Trump. I'm asking you to join me to help turn the page on our politics. That is why I am running for president.
Well, Tom, we covered a lot of ground in our interview and did talk specifically about impeachment and why the vice president does not want to testify on the floor of the Senate. Biden was, of course, the target of President Trump's call to the leader of Ukraine, in which he asked for an investigation to be opened that could be politically damaging to Biden, even though there is no evidence of wrongdoing on Biden's part. The former vice president says the effort to depose him as a witness is a political trap, one intended to damage his prospects against President Trump in 2020. You said that you've been smeared viciously in this whole thing, so why not get in there, back on your home court there of the Senate, and make your case in front of the largest audience possible?
My case has already been made. There's not a single solitary person in this administration who said I did anything other than my job. Not anybody in the United States of America that has been involved at all. Not anybody abroad. I did my job, and I did it really well. The problem is here, this is all about Trump's ability to try to take the focus off.
You can watch that full interview right here, Sunday, 10 a.m. on Close Up. And this is a 2-day campaign swing for Biden. He'll be holding a community event on Saturday in Salem. In the newsroom, Adam Saxton, WMUR, News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Trump's defense team makes case for just 2 hours yesterday. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News. They will continue tomorrow at 1 p.m. on Monday.
Let's turn on the floor of the Senate. President Trump's defense team on the offense today, accusing Democrats of using the impeachment process as a plot to overthrow the 2016 election. This as House impeachment managers filed more than 28,000 pages of their trial records with the Secretary of the Senate. ABC's Kira Phillips on the Hill for us tonight.
Tonight, President Trump's legal team didn't even warm up, opening their defense straight to the point.
You will find that the president did absolutely nothing wrong.
Even getting personal, attacking lead House manager Adam Schiff, going after his summary of the president's phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky at the center of it all.
This is the essence of what the president communicates. I want you to make up dirt on my political opponent, understand lots of it.
That's fake. That's not the real call.
In their 2-hour presentation, the president's lawyers repeatedly discrediting the Democrats' evidence that President Trump pressured Ukraine to investigate his political rivals by withholding military aid.
Most of the Democrats' witnesses have never spoken to the president at all, let alone about Ukraine security assistance.
President Trump blasting the, quote, totally partisan impeachment hoax, while his defense team suggested the Democrats are using the trial to influence the election.
They're asking you to tear up all of the ballots across this country.
Some Republican senators saying the defense's case is off to a good start.
Their team entirely shredded the case that has been presented by the House managers.
Tonight, the question of whether the Senate will compel witnesses and documents the president has blocked is still not resolved, but the Republican-controlled chamber appeared unmoved.
They want this to be the first impeachment case in history without a single witness.
Okay, Kira Phillips joins us now from Capitol Hill, watching it all play out today. Kira, in a major development today, Republican Senator Mitt Romney is indicating he may now support hearing from the witnesses.
That's right. This is the furthest he has gone, Tom, saying now it's very likely that he will be in favor of witnesses in the Senate trial. But remember, Democrats will need at least 4 Republican senators to vote in favor of calling witnesses. And right now, even with Romney, it's far from clear that they have enough support for witnesses when that's put to a vote next week. Tom?
Still an uphill battle for those Democrats.
Okay, there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this edition of Politics with Riley King. I hope you all enjoyed watching this edition of Politics with Riley King. I'll see you back here next Sunday for another edition of Politics with Riley King. Have a great rest of your Sunday, everyone, and goodbye.